Hi guys, this is Caden with Town Guard Armory. Now, you may notice a different background behind me. That's because I looked at the footage last time and realized that my background kind of looked like I was in the middle of the Civil War. And so I changed it. So, that being said, I'm going to be going through some growing pains. I don't have nice medieval backgrounds. I'm planning on getting them. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But I do have this sick new Lorica Hamada. And this is what I'm going to be wearing for this review. Let me know if you guys want me to do a review on this Hamada. I'd be glad to. Just quick, it's really nice. It's really nice and really comfortable, and I love this thing. So, let's get to the video, shall we? The Gladius. The sword that conquered the world. A sword used in gladiatorial games. A sword wielded by some of the most intelligent generals to walk the earth. The Gladius is famed by its well-made craftsmanship, its gorgeous design, and what it was able to do in the hands of a Roman soldier or gladiator. This is the Devil's Edge Murmillo Gladius. Cult of Athena says, quote, "Though named after a type of gladiator, this Gladius would be at home in the hands of any Roman soldier of the time." Would it really? Let's find out, shall we? As stated before, this Gladius is named after the Murmillo gladiator. Contrary to popular belief, the gladiators didn't always fight to the death. These guys were trained, and they were superstars among the Roman people. Though injuries did occur, hardly ever did they fight to the death. Lots of gladiators were slaves, trained to fight. After a certain time, either by wins, popular vote, or money, a gladiator could gain their freedom. The first thing I'll say is about the design. It's a Fulham design. Personally, I would prefer the Mainz Gladius, but that's just me. Devil's Edge did a good job designing this sword, featuring a wooden guard and pommel with a bone grip. This sword is of nut construction, but is glued, so this thing isn't gonna budge. The blade is 1095 steel, which is a great choice for this type of sword. It's on the shorter end of gladi, but it's supposed to represent a gladiator weapon, so it isn't historically inaccurate. The blade has an ugly secondary bevel, and the central ridge is hardly defined. Despite that, this blade comes razor freaking sharp from the factory. This Gladius came sharper than some of the knives I've owned. Because of this, regardless of edge geometry, this sword is a beast in the cut. Now that's just the overall design, but what about the fit and the finish of this sword? On the surface, it seems very tightly fitted together. The grip is a bit round, and I'd like it to be a less round, but that's just personal preference. There is one problem that I found with this sword that has to do with the fit and the finish. When I first got this sword, I was just dry handling, and there came a faint clicking from the hilt. As I started cutting with it, the problem just got worse, to the point where almost every time I move the sword, I can hear this clicking. So there's that. I don't know if this is just my personal sword, or if this is a common problem amongst Devil's Edge Gladi, but just be aware of this if you decide to purchase this sword. Another negative I found about this sword is this. So yeah, the scabbard is pretty much useless for anything other than protecting the blade. And to be honest, I haven't found much historically accurate about a couple pieces of leather sewn together to make a sheath. So, there's that. Now back to the original question. Would a legionary be happy wielding this sword? If I was a trained legionary, no I wouldn't. It's just too unreliable. I'm sure back in the day there were gladi that were implemented similar to this one, but I would try my absolute hardest to find something better. That being said, should you consider getting this Gladius? I bought this sword because I wanted a Gladius, but couldn't afford something more expensive. For the price point, for what it is, I say yes. If you're in the market for a Gladius, or just a sword in general, but like me at the time, can't afford a more expensive option, then this is a great sword. I highly recommend it for what it is. This has been my review of the Devil's Edge Murmillo Gladius. The razor sharp, pretty average Gladius with a cheap sheath. Get it if you can't afford anything else. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.